Welcome to committee. In any order you'd like to go, ladies.
I'll go first. My name is Emily Patterson. Thank you, committee, for hearing us. Behind me is my husband, Chris, and our daughter, Mary Teresa. When we learned that our daughter was to be born with full trisomy 18, we were blessed to be provided many types of resources. However, we know that not everyone gets all of this information up front, and we want others to be provided with the resources that help prepare us to take care of Mary Teresa. Because her diagnosis is considered life-limiting, and we weren't going to be the ones responsible for limiting it, we placed her health in God's hands and the palliative care team at Women's Hospital, who jumped in immediately to provide resources for us right away. They helped us make plans for burial and emotional support for us and our children. We also reached out to a group through the Catholic Diocese of Baton Rouge that provides caskets and free burial plots for infants. Then later, once she was born, they connected us with Social Security services, WIC, Medicaid, which she's fully covered because of her diagnosis, Early Steps, which provides therapies. She currently receives speech therapy, physical therapy, and also vision. Hospital financial services to help us pay medical bills, and pediatric hospice. Pediatric hospice has been the most useful because it functions not only as end-of-life care, but also as home health for medically complex babies. The fact that it isn't just end-of-life care needs to be addressed when it comes to how insurance approves medical equipment. Much of our equipment needed to help Mary Teresa thrive in life is denied because of her diagnosis. And when these resources couldn't provide all of Mary Teresa's needs, the charity of others has come through. There are different Facebook groups with parents willing to give the equipment their children have outgrown to others, and therapists who can obtain resources as well. Through divine providence, we have never lacked anything for Mary Teresa. Thankfully, Medicaid covers the majority of medical expenses, nutrition, medical supplies, and equipment. Despite some of the physicians' predictions, Mary Teresa has made it. She's talking to you.
She's willing to speak for herself today. She's like, Mom, get out the chair and let me get that mic, Mom.
Oh, sorry.
That's what she wants.
Mary Teresa has made it far beyond the expectations of many, and we couldn't have continued this journey without the resources presented to us from early in the pregnancy and all throughout her life. Every parent deserves to hear that there are real options once a diagnosis is received, because every life is precious. As it is written in the Gospel of Matthew, then they will answer and say, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger, or naked or ill and in prison, and not minister to your needs? And he will answer them, Amen, I say to you, what you did not do for one of the least ones, you did not do for me. Thank you, committee.
Thank you. And it's Mary Teresa, is that correct? Mm-hmm. She gave her own testimony.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
She's very much. She's almost 3.
Good morning. My name is Janina Bernard.
Good morning.
So, I have 4 children. I'm sorry, I apologize.
No problem, take your
My
time.
daughters are laughing at me. So when I was 12 weeks, I asked to do the genetic testing for my son. And we had never done genetic testing before. I was 34 years old. And unfortunately, it came back positive for trisomy 13. My OBGYN called me, and she said, with physical abnormalities, cleft lip, intellectual disabilities, that my baby would not survive. That if he did survive, he would live a month. At that moment, that is the most information I got about my son. Nobody else provided any information to me regarding trisomy 13 besides the fact that he would not survive. We saw the high-risk doctor. The only option is abortion. You cannot change a child's makeup. The genetics are what they are. So it is, we go through with the pregnancy or we abort. As we went through the ultrasounds and he looked through the baby, he'd see, oh, he has folds on his neck. It looks like he has rocker foot. He looks like he's going to be a small baby. That's all the information I got from that high-risk doctor. We did the amniocentesis. We went and saw the geneticist. He was a little bit better, and his was, we have to see what the baby can do. No resources, none provided. I did look it up, Google is out there. Nothing told me anything. They didn't tell me if he could survive, what to expect. They didn't tell me what resources I would have if he survived. After he was born, we found out that when you have trisomy, it doesn't affect every single cell. There's translocation trisomy 13. There is mosaic trisomy 13, and there is full trisomy 13. No one made this aware to me when I was expecting my son. My son is thriving, he's 8. He is eating on his own. He walks, he babbles, he smiles, he giggles, he laughs, he wrestles, he's loving, he kisses. And this is the baby they told me would not survive and gave me no resources. This bill would provide information to women just like me. I needed this information. Nobody gave it to me. The state aid that you get, I didn't realize that there was such thing as early steps, that they provide physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech. I didn't realize they help move you into when it's time for the children to go to school, that there's SPED, and that when you receive special education, you also receive physical therapy through them. I also didn't know there was child's waiver care where I can provide free diapers. Nobody told me this when I was expecting my son. All they told me was that he wasn't going to survive. It is important that every woman have the chance to at least see what they're expecting and not, let's just abort. He's not worth it, or she's not worth it. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be a turnout. When Samuel was born, he had no folds on his neck. He did not have rocker feet, and he was 10 pounds, 8 ounces. So I'm relying on this medical field that knows nothing about trisomy, which is fine, I understand, but we are here today asking for the resources. That let's just not go with the medical profession. Let's talk to people. Let's get information out and let them know that trisomy 13 or trisomy 18 or all these other birth defects is not incompatible with life. They can thrive. And so that's why we were asking you today to let's get these resources out and help these mothers and these women make better choices than just to abort. There has to be another solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Kyla Gonzalez, and I'm a registered nurse, a birth and bereavement doula, and the founder of I Will Carry You, which is a nonprofit that supports families whose babies have been given life-limiting diagnoses. I am here today in full support of SB 325. When I was 16 weeks pregnant with our second child, we learned that our baby had a condition that was incompatible with life. Like many families who find themselves in this impossible situation, we were given this diagnosis and then sent along our way with very little information. I knew that I would continue my pregnancy and carry our baby, but I just didn't know how. Thankfully, we found a wonderful maternal fetal medicine doctor who supported my decision to carry, and he promised me he would do everything in his power to allow me to meet my daughter alive. He referred us to perinatal hospice, and we had a team dedicated to our care. This was a turning point for us. I felt less anxious because we knew what to expect, and we had this incredible team on our side. I began to focus on bonding with our daughter and soaking up the time that we had left together. On March 4th, 2019, our daughter was born. It was a difficult birth, but she was born alive. Meeting her was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. We named her Eva, meaning life, because her life, despite its brevity, is meaningful, and we knew it would have purpose. Eva lived for just 36 minutes, but each moment of her life was spent being held by us. We had the chance to kiss her and tell her what she meant to us, and hold her and tell her goodbye as she took her last breath. Carrying Eva was the most difficult thing I've ever done, but it's a decision that I've never once regretted. In fact, I can attribute many of the most beautiful parts of my life today to that decision. Since Eva, I started a foundation and received the training needed to support mothers and families who experience this same tragedy. And how beautiful that because of my suffering, I can give others the hope that they need. Unfortunately, many families in my situation don't end up with a doctor like I did that's encouraging and supportive. Some doctors actually encourage abortion when carrying the baby is a safe and dignified option. This is where informational support is crucial. Families who receive life-limiting prenatal diagnoses should immediately be given the information, support, and resources they need to make truly informed decisions. This bill will be an excellent start to making that happen. I humbly ask that you please support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, and moment of personal privilege for me. Thank you so much from traveling from Monroe, Louisiana. I know how hard it is getting here early in the morning from Monroe.
Thank you for having me. It's
So
an
thank you
honor.
for your advocacy from our area.
Yeah.
We also have present and wishing to speak, Mary